Do you have zodiac sign Capricorn or Aquarius in your sixth house? If so, I've got some life-changing secrets that can help you manifest the very best health. Astrology is a tool that I utilize for self-awareness, and it's a tool that I recommend that a lot of people look into when trying to understand themselves better. We cannot talk about self-awareness without talking about our challenges and our limitations. So this video is going to go into how having Saturn, which is Capricorn or Aquarius, in your sixth house affects your life, your emotional well-being, your physical well-being, and your ability to really craft the life of your dreams in this reality. In astrology, the sixth house is the house of health and wellness. It is considered one of the most complicated houses in our astrology natal chart because it is the house of our spiritual debts, meaning it is where we meet our most emotional, physical, and psychological challenges, and it is where we're being asked to overcome. The sixth house is generally ruled by zodiac sign Virgo. It rules over our work, so our service-oriented nature, or lack thereof. It rules over our emotional well-being or lack thereof, as well as our psychological health or lack thereof. Understanding your sixth house in astrology is essential for manifesting the very best health because it basically tells you what your challenges are. Our sixth house, or house of spiritual debt, is essential for understanding how we get our souls to evolve in this realm. How do we create a life that is centered around a routine that agrees with us? How do we take care of our minds, our body, and our soul in a way that can sustain us into the very highest version of who we were meant to be when we were created? Some of the themes associated with the sixth house are service. How do I use my gifts, my skills to be of service to others and to work a job that I love, where I'm making a positive contribution to the world and I'm also being compensated for it? Virgo rules work because all of us have gifts that were embedded in us prior to us manifesting here on earth that we're here to perfect and share with each other. And in doing so, in going through that process of perfecting our talent, we're able to secure the finances needed to be able to continue to live so we can continue to work. So naturally, as we're talking about working, that comes with challenges, right? So the sixth house is also associated with overcoming challenges because it is the house of spiritual debt. So spiritual debts, meaning this is something you were not very good at in previous lives. This is something that you did wrong in previous lives. This is something that you handled poorly in previous lives. And in this life, you have the opportunity to have a do-over and you want to do it right. You want to do it better than you did it before. So you want to be a little bit more thoughtful, more mindful, more dedicated, more patient, more organized with how you use this skill in order for you to evolve into a higher version of yourself. Service and purpose are intertwined when you're a Virgo. So the sixth house speaks directly to that, the importance of being of service to others. This is work, being compensated for the work that we do, right? And we do that through a sense of purpose. I know it's very common nowadays for many of us to work jobs that we hate, but I promise you that was not the original design. The original design was for you to find work that is fulfilling to you, that only you can do, and that agrees with you. And it's only in that pleasure of that calling that you become better at what you do. The work that the world needs from you is not the work that gives you a paycheck, but rather the work that feeds your soul. This is where the purpose comes in. There's going to be more of a heavy responsibility placed upon you to manifest a life, a routine, an impact in the world that is beneficial for everyone. Many people overlook Saturn's influence in their astrology natal chart, which really makes it hard for them to capitalize on some of the opportunities that are available for them. Saturn, the planet of karma in astrology, is all about restrictions. It's about hard work and it's about understanding our limits. Many of us struggle because we're not aware of our limits. And I mean that in terms of our physical limitations, our psychological limitations, and our emotional limitations. We all have limitations. The wise ones among us are aware of our limitations and we make decisions that are in harmony with our safety lines. Capricorn, as a zodiac sign who is exclusively ruled by Saturn, has a lot of strict rules and regulations around how they do relationships, with themselves and with other people. They tend to be very strict and highly disciplined with themselves in their relationship with other people. It's because Father Saturn, who is their lord or ruler in astrology, expects this behavior of them. Getting a better understanding of your Saturn placement in general is going to give you so much power, because it's going to help you understand what motivates you, what drives you, what personal sense of power do you have in your life story, what limitations you're willing to impose on yourself and others, what you're willing to go for, what you're not willing to ride with, what makes you feel comfortable, what you're not willing to entertain, what holds you back, what you need to overcome in order to become who you were destined to be. Saturn in astrology is known as the teacher. Karma is our teacher. Karma basically means the consequences of our actions and our energetic vibration. Karma is both the consequence of our intentions, which is our energetic vibration, and our actions, which often reflects what's in our heart. So karma encapsulates both the seen and the unseen in terms of how we spend our energy here on earth. Having that in the sixth house makes your relationship with your health and wellness a little bit more intense and complicated, because Saturn requires that you be hands-on, that you be responsible, that you be willing to do the hard things, that you be willing to go the extra mile, that you be willing to work twice as hard. So you're probably the type of person who, let's say as an example, if you're trying to lose weight, other people may get into a weight loss program. Within a month or two, their bodies start transforming and everything is looking swell. You could join that same program and have so many challenges trying to get that weight to come down. Any house of your natal chart that is ruled by Saturn will require you to be more tenacious, be more hardworking, be more dedicated, be more devoted. It's almost as if Saturn takes you through these obstacle challenges to prove to yourself that you really want it that badly, and that you're willing to work hard at it, and that you really are committed to the task. Saturn does not reward you because you did it well the first time. That's because beginner's luck. Saturn rewards you because you've done it well at the same level over 100 years, 20 years, 30 years. This is why, if you happen to be ruled by Saturn, meaning if you are Capricorn or Aquarius rising, your life doesn't actually get good until much, much later. Aquarius, Capricorn rising people, their life does not take off until after age 30. I don't recommend that these people get married before age 30 for this reason, because the maturity that they need to have in terms of understanding what's valuable and what isn't, it doesn't come in until much later. Saturn is very big on value, because unlike the other zodiac signs, Saturn rules Capricorn, who is the community builder of the zodiac, meaning that everything that Capricorn is here to do is supposed to benefit the community. It's not just for them. This is why Capricorn is often very devoted to community activities, community missions, community goals. Here are two perfect examples of this. MLK, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, was a Capricorn sun, and Barack Obama is an Aquarius rising. As you can see, they both have Saturn in dominant positions, and both these men have really transformed the landscape of American culture. Dolly Parton is another Capricorn sun. So there is a theme here with being responsible at a young age for responsibilities that are not yours, having to fight to protect people who don't even want your protection, and having to basically work twice as hard to get the respect that everybody else gets for doing the very bare minimum. So when that kind of energy is in your sixth house, the house of work, the house of work-life balance and health and wellness, you can expect a lot of devotion to your health. You're going to have to be a very disciplined person. You're going to have to be somebody that is very strict about the day-to-day routine. You're going to have to be someone that's very strict about the people that you invite into your circle and the people that you exclude from your circle, because your emotional energy is currency. When you're ruled by Saturn, everything that you do is currency, and you need to understand what's valuable and what's not valuable, because life is about exchanging. This is why Libra is exalted at Saturn, because Libra understands that the scales is about an exchange of energies, good and bad. So we're all are in this constant state of analyzing and weighing the energy that we're giving. So Saturn requires you to be mature with understanding what's for you, what's not for you, what's valuable, what's not valuable, what's a waste of your time, and what's the best use of your time. And you have to utilize that information to basically improve your health. You have to be dedicated to your health and wellness. You can't be like other people who just do things for fun or do things that they know is not good for their health, and they hope that they're able to ride through the sunset with a lot of bad behavior when it comes to neglecting their health, not drinking water, no physical fitness, not being mindful of the food that you're eating, not keeping your stress under control, not addressing any of your physical needs, not seeing a regular doctor every year for a checkup. If something is bothering you in your body, putting it off and pretending like it's not a big deal. You can't do any of these things, because when you're ruled by Saturn, you're walking a tight rope. And that tightrope requires that you be responsible. And when you drop the ball, Saturn teaches you via consequences. The others may get taught via FYI, just so you know, this is what's going on. But when you're ruled by Saturn, you don't get the FYI, you get the punishment. You get the punishment for not doing the thing that you were made responsible for. Saturn is exalted at Mars in astrology, meaning that Capricorn is the last zodiac sign you want to go to battle with, you want to go to war with, because Capricorn is ruled by the planet of karma. So when you go to battle with somebody that is Saturn dominant or who is ruled by Saturn, you're essentially writing your own karma. Whatever negativity you were giving them, it's coming to you. There is no way to break a Capricorn without breaking yourself. That's kind of the deal. Capricorn holds a very high position of power in the world of astrology. This is why the astrology natal chart has Capricorn sitting at the top of it. What does that mean for your health? The damage that you cause yourself with regards to your health is going to be damage that you will have to fix. No one else will be holding the bag for you. Saturn makes Capricorn and Aquarius very strong for this reason, because they're able to overcome anything. Have you ever seen the way these people can bounce back from tragedy to success? Have you ever witnessed it? It's kind of insane. The magical things that the energy of Saturn brings to those that are willing to work with it. It's incredible, really, the way these people are able to overcome anything to really step into their highest power. That exaltation of Mars really speaks to that. It speaks to the fact that nothing can break you. You're indestructible. Only God can break, somebody that is Saturn ruled. But no human, no demons, no magic, no black magic, no voodoo, no evil spirit, nothing can break you. So all of the consequences that you get in your life are the byproduct of your own actions, not other people's actions, because you're built like a fortress. Saturn is a symbol of overcoming, which, as I say that, I am remembering that Michelle Obama is also a Capricorn. So there you go. It's all right there. Saturn is about strength. It's about tenacity. It's about discipline. It's about hard work. And it's about doing the impossible. Think Muhammad Ali, another Saturn-ruled person, Capricorn sun person. Saturn at the 6th house requires that you be willing to develop the strength, the resiliency, and the wisdom to understand what's good for your health and what's not good for your health. And Saturn requires that once you identify people, places, and situations that undermine your health, that you eliminate those items from your day-to-day life and individuals from your day-to-day life. Saturn doesn't allow you to run away from your weaknesses. In fact, it challenges you to confront them head on. This is why these Saturn-ruled people at a very young age have had to deal with very, very difficult life situations that most people could not survive, honestly. And they're so humble that they hardly ever talk about it. But the people who know them intimately know what it's like to be ruled by Saturn, because the pressure starts very young for them. And it's really, even though it is painful, but it's really to teach them to trust themselves. and to teach them that they can overcome anything because they've already overcome the worst. By the time a Saturn ruled person gets to be 30 years old, they've already gone through so many challenges that most people would not have been able to survive. So when that energy is in your sixth house, there is going to be a lot of overcoming of challenges with your health. Because when it comes to maintaining good health with regards to your emotional health, your mental health, your physical health, and the discipline that's needed to keep those things intact, you're going to have some pushback. You're going to be in a position where you have to fight for your health. It's not going to come easy for you because when your Saturn rules, wherever your Saturn ruled in your natal chart, nothing comes easy. Having Saturn in your sixth house requires that you be willing to take control of your life, control of how you spend your time. If you have Saturn in your sixth house, you should have a schedule that you follow every day that tells you what to do. And you should be pretty strict with keeping up with that schedule. It's really a testament to yourself that you're being responsible for yourself. Because when you're Capricorn ruled or Saturn ruled or Aquarius ruled, you don't have the option of other people taking care of you. You have to do it yourself. Having Saturn in the sixth house is an excellent placement. In fact, I would argue Saturn in any house is an excellent placement. But when Saturn is on your side, when it comes to your health, you're guaranteed a long, strong, and healthy life. You're guaranteed strong work ethic. You're guaranteed success in your professional life. You're guaranteed discipline if you're willing to work with Saturn to be able to accomplish your goals. Saturn in your sixth house also makes you extremely patient with, health and wellness programs that you take on for the sake of improving your well-being. People who have Saturn in the sixth house have a good understanding that their mental health, their physical health, and their emotional health all plays into their success. They understand that success is not just working a job, making money. It's actually feeling good in your body, in your skin, about who you are, what you want, and what you want to do with your life. So for a lot of these people, a fitness routine is something that they're very strict about because they understand in the same way they fight with themselves in the gym before their day gets started is the same way they're going to be fighting, at their job when they finally clock in to get through that work day and to be able to make those power moves they need to make to elevate their lives. So let's summarize. Individuals who have Saturn in the sixth house are very good at being practical, being meticulous, being organized, following a schedule, sticking to a schedule, working hard, being disciplined with their time. One thing I didn't mention before that I want you to be aware of is because Saturn rules the joints. Whenever you start having problem with your joints, that's an indication that you're not working this energy in the positive. Joints and bones is where Capricorn rules. And as you can see, those are the hardest part of the human body. So if you're Capricorn ruled and you have issues with your joints and your bones, that's usually a sign that your balance is off and it may be time to go back in and rework certain things. So health issues are going to be related to these things. Joints, bones, areas of connection. Since Saturn rules community building, it's about connection. So you have to be able to connect with your own body, right, in a healthy way. And that's how you know that you're balanced. And it's only then that you can actually connect with the community in the healthy way. Saturn, at whatever position in your birth chart, is going to bring challenges. And the purpose of that is for you to learn how to overcome, to face your demons, to face your weaknesses, and to develop more tenacity, more work ethic, and to let the laziness leave your body. That's what Saturn does. It basically trains you on how to not be as lazy. There's no other way to put it. Saturn wants you to work harder than everybody else, and it rewards you when you're willing to put in that work. Be mindful of falling into perfectionism. As you know, the sixth house is ruled by Virgo, who already struggles with perfectionism. When you bring Saturn to that house, it adds an added element of pressure, of responsibility, of tension. And when you're already struggling with perfectionism and then pressure and tension comes on your plate, perfectionism is a disease, okay? And I need you to know that, yes, It's there. It's okay to recognize it. It's okay to name the elephant, it's okay to call the demon by its name. But the goal is to fight against that, because a lot of times the universe doesn't really require perfection of us in order for us to be successful and balanced. It just requires that we be willing to just be with the reality of our situation. So sometimes overcoming looks like accepting the limitations of your challenges, accepting that you're not perfect and you're never going to be, and accepting that in spite of that, you can still do great work and still make a meaningful impression on the world, and you can still leave a positive imprint. And that is what Saturn in the sixth house is here to really work through. Saturn in the sixth house also makes you very good at bouncing back from diseases, from illnesses, from health related issues, from enemies, haters, people that want to see you fail. Wherever you have Saturn, you're going to be very, very strong, because Saturn is the ultimate end of the story. It's about karma, and karma is your destiny. So karma is all of our destiny. So at the end of the day, Saturn gets Saturn's way. There is no other way around it. This is why Saturn is exalted in Mars. So it gives you resiliency, the ability to take a punch and bounce back like nothing ever happened. So that same principle also applies to your health. As long as you're doing the best that you can do for your health, you're moving yourself forward, you're being dedicated to living a healthy life, even when things come that fall outside of what you expected, you're going to be able to bounce back. You're going to be able to overcome. You're going to be able to do the thing that you need to do to self-correct and get yourself back on the healthy track. Lucky for you, the sixth house in astrology is also known as the house of wealth. So assuming you're willing to do the hard labor of staying true, of working hard, of being dedicated to the internal mission that was put in your birth, because all Saturn dominant people already know what they're here to do, all of them. These people are old people. They're born old. They're not like the other babies of the world. They're born old, already with so much wisdom embedded in them. So this is what helps them overcome everything that comes their way. I want you to know that you get rewarded with great wealth at the end of your journey, assuming you're willing to prioritize your physical health, your emotional health, and your psychological health. Because for you, health is truly wealth. Okay? Leave your comments in the box below. Let me know, what do you think about having Saturn in your sixth house? Do you have this placement? Or are you a Capricorn or Aquarius dominant person? What do you think of this reading? And I can't wait to catch you on the next video. Talk to you soon. Au revoir! You can book your astrology reading at intuitivehealing.com. You can also watch videos at Intuitive Healing here on YouTube for Astrology 101 content. Listen to the Aquarius podcast on Spotify, as well as here on YouTube for your horoscope. If you're interested in astrology and love connections, you can visit at Styled Under Libra. And of course, for health and wellness and holistic healing, visit at Styled Under Virgo for all of your astrology content. Thanks so much for watching.